Capital One knows life doesn't alert you about your credit card.
Next stop, Graham Street. In Brian in the khaki shorts, your G&L energy bill went up 60% this month. Seems like you want to know. Stand clear of the closing doors.
So, meet Eno, the Capital One assistant that catches things that might look wrong, like increases to a recurring bill, then sends an alert to your phone and helps you fix it. Eno, another way Capital One is watching out for your money when you're not. Capital One, what's in your wallet? See CapitalOne.com for details. Limitations apply.
Hello, Wildcats. It's your boy Kev from the Brothers Commonplace. Come busting in through your front door like Kramer, except I don't hate the Jews. And this is just a little disclaimer to let you know that we are a comedy and crime podcast. So even though we do cover serious cases and true events, we do like to throw in some dark humor and inappropriate jokes every now and then. And much like that intro joke, rarely do we have any up-to-date jokes. So if you are familiar with references and news articles and headlines from about 12 years ago, then you should probably really like this podcast. But anyways, I just want to say thank you to everyone that is listening and has been just super cool to us. We've had a lot of feedback lately, and that really means the absolute world to us. So thank you, everyone. And if you are someone who doesn't quite enjoy the show, I want you to listen to this little ditty before you go on sending hate mail, because you know what? It hurts your boy's feelings. It really does. Hashtag Wildman. Hey y'all, it's K-Dog, and all I'm asking is to save all the words and the hate at home, cause the shit hits me like a knee to the face of fucking Ben Askren. And the shit, it hurts, dog. And I ain't been late since the early days when I was catching those slammers while I played in the fucking home with my pogs. Talking about the little circle cardboard pogs, not the fat ass white girls. You know, they had nothing to do with me in them days. These days, shit still ain't changed. You know, I hadn't been laid since 96. Last time I got laid, the Cleveland Cavaliers, all the fans, we were cheering Carlos Boozer. We love that motherfucker. Times have changed.
Alright, fellas, like we practiced.
Yeah.
2, 3, 4.
Come on down. Come on down. Hanging with the brothers tonight, yeah. Come on down to the Brothers Commonplace tonight.
Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Brothers Commonplace, a comedy and crime podcast where we cover monsters, murders, mysteries, and more. And before we jump into today's crazy topic, I want y'all to meet my favorite members of Bone.
Oh, nice. What's going on, guys? This is Tim, or 1 in the pink and 2 in the stink, as they call me at the Pride Parade.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah, baby.
I don't know where the 1 in the pink was going, but I guess my pee hole. I guess.
Hey, this is the
I was pretty drunk.
this is the other member of Bone. They call me Crusher, or like they did when I worked at the recycling plant and they gave me all the pop cans.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude.
That sounds like a pretty good job.
It is.
Hey, what up? This is Spence, and I thought today I might share something a little personal that I haven't shared with you guys before, which is my real middle name and what it means.
Don't do it.
See, I actually wasn't born. I was assembled by a mad scientist. He made my body entirely out of hemp and cannabis.
Okay.
And then he named me, my middle name is Dankenstein.
I think
I knew it had to be a
I know who
Frankenstein
this
joke.
mad scientist is.
Oh, fuck yeah, we all do.
You drive around in that fucking truck from Cheech and Chong. And it's your boy Kev, a.k.a. The Dirty Dog, and for today's nickname, I decided I am going to use this computer program here where it takes all my characteristics and everything about me, and it tells me, like, who I match up with most, like, as far as, like, character-wise, like, who I am. So I'm going to go ahead and run the program right now. And, oh, here we go. 100% match. Bo Bergdahl. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know what, Kev? If you're a little computer program, I think you'd be a Piggy Pie.
Oh.
Piggy Raspberry Pie.
Okay. All right. So before we start, I do have a couple notes here. The first one being, thank you to Melissa Barman for last week's case suggestion. I forgot to mention her name. And there's also going to be a couple more cases coming up that she had suggested. So she gave us a big, good list. And also, this episode, it is dedicated to the Australian Wildman, our boy Daniel.
The fucking the goodest of boys.
Yeah.
He is a good fucking boy.
Absolutely. The stopper of emus.
That's right.
Hey, Kev.
Yeah.
That case that she gave you, does it actually have like locks you can open, or is it like a security one? Oh, Jesus Christ.
It's I'm just gonna move on.
All right.
But this case is not only dedicated to our boy Daniel, but also all of his friends, family, and coworkers that listen, and to all of our other wonderful Australian listeners, because this case is not only going to involve Australia, but it will also involve the New South Wales Police Force.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice.
So hell yes. And also a quick thank you to Kate and Krista and everyone that listened to the newest episode of Ignorance Was Bliss that had me on there as a guest. I didn't expect to receive so much feedback, and it's just been really nice of everyone, so thank you. I've had a lot of people reach out to me about it, and it's been pretty cool.
Okay, nice.
That's pretty cool.
Send us a link.
There's one on Facebook.
Send me the link.
Alrighty, so
Respect.
for today's case, I hope all you brothers and sisters of the commonplace out there are comfortable, and I hope that you're all wearing some nice and snug jammies and onesies.
But not snug enough to tight your nuts up.
That's right, not that tight.
Okay.
Because today, submitted for the approval of the Brothers Commonplace,
Hell yes.
I give you the mysterious tale of the Pyjama Girl Murder Case.
Oh, shit.
I'm so
Yes.
excited. I don't know if the Pyjama Girl's the one doing the killings or getting killed, but I'm fucking excited, baby.
Dude, that sounded like an Andrew thing.
Oh, yeah.
So before we get too far into this case, we are going to let you know what it was like during the time that the murder took place, because this case takes place in Albury, New South Wales, Australia, in September of 1934.
Whoa.
Oh, that's a while ago.
Yeah.
What the fuck? That's when they had like kangaroos boxing people and shit.
Yeah, and that documentary Kangaroo Jack had just come out.
Fuck that movie, dude.
For our sources, we pulled about 75% of this from Medium.com, also from UnsolvedTrueCrime.com, SydneyLivingMuseums.com, and also like a Australian Parliament government website that we pulled this next part from. So those were like
Nice.
our main sources.
You were talking about that Kangaroo Jack movie?
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that parody I made of it where I would jack off. It was like Jackass, and I would find
Yeah.
like household things to jack off to, and it was just called Hand Glue Jack. Hand to glue
yeah.
Jack. All right, yeah.
Yeah, so anything you want to mention before we get into this?
We're here. No.
All right. Oh, come on. You've already
We know where
what
that
you're
was
saying.
What did I say? What did I say? We're here.
Yeah.
Accept
I
us.
saw you at the Pride Parade too.
Dude, I do want to mention that one of the best times I've ever had at Cedar Point was when I went there during National Gay Pride Day. I went there
Yeah.
with just my friend Jason. Rest in peace, brother.
R.I.P.
Just me and him were there, and it was just us riding coasters all day with a bunch of super nice gay dudes. And like,
Yeah.
we're so thick, like skull-wise and ass-wise, but we were completely oblivious to it till the very end. We're like, man, these guys have been so nice. Where's all the chicks at, though?
Where the fucking chicks at?
But yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it was...
Kev,
It
we
was,
know why only you two went that day. Come on. It's okay,
Yeah, that's-
dude.
Because
Yeah, they didn't let you in at the front gate. Not cute enough.
I was in the parking lot trying to earn my ticket.
oh fuck yeah, dude. He finally got in, but he didn't ride any rides. He just kept playing grab ass the whole time.
Oh, no. There were rides in the parking lot.
Oh.
Oh, hell yes.
Yeah, Toof showed up and gave a whole new meaning to the fucking roller coaster called Magnum. They're like, yeah, we're going to give you all nicknames based on the rides. Toof, you're Magnum. Kevin, you are, was it Gemini Jr.? or Little Gemini?
No, I think I was the fucking Snoopy ride.
Oh my god, Craptor.
Yeah. I don't know why. I haven't figured out why, but they just call me Wicked Twister.
Yeah, you got that. Didn't you get that after watching American Pie 1? Fucking tongue twister.
Yeah.
Either that or watching a documentary about duck penises.
Oh, wait, that's a thing?
Those are fucking nasty, dude.
Yeah, ducks have corkscrew-shaped penises.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude.
And don't they fucking like lock into them so they can't escape or something?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, they stole it from Andrew.
The vaginas are shaped like mazes, so
Holy
that the
shit.
dick can't find its way to actually impregnate
Guys,
them.
you already sold it. You don't have to keep selling, all right, guys?
Dude, this sounds like
I was buying it a while ago.
Oh my god.
Like, thank God for me that I bust quickly, because if you take too long, I guess the Minotaur chops the head of your dick off.
Oh, fuck.
All right, are we ready? That was like 10 minutes of just garbage.
10 minutes of fucking amazing stuff.
Hey man, you don't need the vagina to be amazed when you know how to perform C-sections.
Oh, dude. What the fuck? All right.
Quick and
You don't
direct.
impregnate with a C-section. You don't like cut it open and put the sperm in there that way.
Here, I'm just going to leave this here and see what
All
happens.
right. So, alrighty, here we go. Australia, New South Wales, September 1934.
Southeast Australia.
And unfortunately, the 1930s, they weren't that great of a time, to be honest. So here's a pretty long quote from parliament.nsw.gov in regards to what New South Wales was like in the 1930s. The Depression, set off by the October 1929 Wall Street stock market crash, hit the New South Wales economy with great severity. Unemployment, already high at 10% in mid-1929, was 21% by mid-1930 and rising, hitting almost 32% in mid-1932. Factory output fell almost 10% in 1929 to 30 and another 30% in 1930 to 31. The government, which had borrowed heavily for public works, also had the highest level of public expenditure in Australia, especially because of social services payments. In 1930, the budget rapidly went from a surplus to a deficit greater than all the other Australian states put together.
Damn.
30% unemployment rate, huh?
Hey,
Damn.
32%.
Damn, 30%. What are they? Russell Westbrook's 3-point percentage? Jesus Christ. It's so fucking stupid. All right.
Hey,
Tough times.
Hey, Tim.
You were quoting Can't Hardly Wait.
Yeah, but
right?
I can't find.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, how's it go?
Oh, fuck.
32%.
Yeah. All I remember is because I don't, yo. Rest in peace.
Yeah. Accompanying this economic collapse, of course, was great social disruption and distress. Many struggled on part-time work or depended on charity or the dole. For thousands, unemployment also meant eviction, with shanty towns of homeless people springing up in many areas. It was a crisis that governments throughout the world did not seem to know how to deal with.
Damn it, people, go back to your shanties.
This is golf, people. One result of disillusionment was the rapid growth of radical or extremist political organizations claiming to defend the interests that more and more people believed democratic institutions could not provide. In New South Wales, some communist, socialist, workers, and unemployed organizations advocated direct action, particularly in relation to opposing house evictions, while on the right, nationalist and fascist-style organizations such as the New Guard rapidly gained in membership.
Fucking sounds like Skyrim. The fucking
Nice.
the New Guard and the Red Guards
Fuck yeah.
took fucking over the Nords.
Hey, Spence, will you do the quote, man?
The quote.
Come to Dragon's Reach to discuss the ongoing hostilities like the rest of the great warriors.
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that was the first dude I just fucking robbed everything from.
Fuck yeah.
The soul stones. The ongoing
Oh yeah,
hostilities.
they're right there, man. Everyone's taking that fucking petty soul gem.
So, alrighty, anything before we move on to the actual case?
I don't think so.
I'm trying to get a layout of the 1930s, mid-1930s Australian culture, man.
Yeah.
What the fuck were they like? Did they still have bug spray and shit? Like, Motherfucker.
I mean,
it's already poisonous there, and now they're too poor to defend themselves. It sounds fucking horrible.
I'm guessing like the life expectancy was like 30.
Oh yeah.
Like they were losing out to those fucking animals, dude. There's no way.
Dude, it's funny because every Australian case we cover, we mention how like everything there is just so dangerous and will kill you and all this other stuff. So we have a lot of Australian listeners, and they're always like the nicest people ever. And they're always like, yeah, like not everything there is going to kill you, right?
Yeah, because Daniel's taking care of it.
Yeah.
They used to have fucking giant Komodo dragons called Megalania.
Yeah, they can go, fuck off with your lies, Australia. We know you're fucking psychos.
Yeah, they could easily fucking just beat all our asses. Like newborns there could kick our asses.
It's like they have fucking pythons around their neck like Jake the Snake Roberts. Like, it's fucking safe here, bros. I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about.
This is fine.
We show up and we're just like Macho Man when Jake the Snake puts the fucking cobra on him.
It bites him.
So, alrighty, here we go. On to the case.
Wait.
The date.
Can I sidebar that, man? Because I just listened to the podcast with Jake the Snake on it. Dude, I guess before the first time he put on Macho was in the locker room like, listen here, motherfucker. I don't trust that fucking snake. You're going to have to make it bite you. And he made him fucking bite the own snake on himself and shit. And he's like, all right,
damn.
let me just stand there for a little bit. Let me see the venom go through your veins. And he's like, it's fucking not Macho, all right?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, like it didn't have venom, but they legit couldn't get it to fucking let go, right?
Yeah.
It like latched on.
Yeah, it did.
Dude, I'll have to send you that, Tim. It's fucking funny, man.
So, alrighty, here we go. On to the case. The date is September 1st, 1934, and we are just outside of Albury on the New South Wales border with Victoria. And that's when we enter a young farmer by the name of Tom Griffith to the scene. He is walking on his way along the How Long Road, and I guarantee you're not going to be able to guess this next part. He was just walking around, walking his family's new prize bull.
Okay. Wait, what's the road called?
Yeah.
How long?
Oh, hell yes.
Dude, that's so
not very.
Fucking... Well, I guess that road's not named after any of our dicks.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not even allowed down it because everybody just laughs at me.
Yeah, dude, they make us avoid it.
Like I would just not go down there. Like I have to avoid it, like Adam and Eve with the tree or whatever the fuck it was. Like let's just not go that way.
There's like it's like a troll that you have to answer riddles before crossing a bridge, but it's just a how long road, and you have to answer truthfully how long it is. So we just avoid it at all costs. Like I'll just fucking go the long way, guys. Yeah, so this is some fucking hashtag Wildman material. Just a guy walking a fucking bull around. Like I didn't know I didn't know you could do that. So.
I mean, apparently in Australia again.
And I did tell one of our Australian listeners, Kate, that I would try to work in the word wanker somewhere.
Oh, okay.
So
fuck yeah.
Whenever you guys are able to, feel free to use the word wanker.
I don't know why we haven't already used that word. That's a fun word.
So this farmer, Tom Griffith, he's walking down the road just 4.5 miles away from Albury, and then Tom and his bull, they get this strong whiff of kerosene, but they don't exactly know where it's coming from. It might have been fucking that dude we work with's coat somewhere lying on the ground.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
But they did.
It was either...
I was just say they didn't smell any shit, though.
Oh, my God.
Did one of the sources say... Like Tom and his bull caught a whiff of kerosene? Is that like a quote?
Like the bull did.
Like,
hey, you fucking smell that, Tom?
Hey, you smell that, dude? I mean, I think it's safe to assume. I don't want to.
I mean, yeah, the bull definitely did. I was gonna say it was either that guy's coat or that rope that was dipped in it in the movie Home Alone. It's been dipped in kerosene.
So I'm just gonna guess the bulls here in Australia can probably talk, anyways.
Oh yeah, easily.
Farmer Tom, you smell that shit? So they get this strong whiff of kerosene. They look around a bit and they follow their nose like they're going after a delicious bowl of Fruit Loops.
Oh fuck yes!
And that's when Farmer Griffith, he notices something that is stuffed into a culvert under the road. And just a little heads up, a culvert tunnel is like a little tunnel thingy carrying a stream or like an open drain under a road or a railroad. And I looked it up, and to me, it kind of looks like a brick pizza oven in a way.
Oh, a Kentucky bathtub.
Imagine bathing in like a storm drain.
Oh man.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I would never
I'm in a
bathe in a
storm
Kentucky
drain.
toilet.
Oh my god.
What if the bull was the one who noticed the kerosene? Like the bull raised up his head and started doing the rock smell because it wasn't just so ordinary bull, it was the Brahma bull.
Oh, fuck
And he said,
yeah, it
listen
was.
here, you fucking jabroni, you fucking wanker, you Griffith, do you smell the kerosene?
Yeah, dude.
I like that the bull calls it. He's like, you fucking
calls him a
wanker,
wanker.
you fucking Griffith.
That's his fucking name.
He wasn't calling him the name, he was calling him that winged fucking lion thing.
Griffin.
Isn't that a Griffin? P. Tier
Griffin.
Peter Griffin.
So the farmer, he had no idea that he was about to stumble across a partially burnt corpse of a woman that somebody or something on the wing had stuffed into this drain pipe. And the body, it wasn't in that great a condition. It was hard to tell what exactly happened here, who this person was. But here's what he was able to find out so far. It was a female body. The body had been badly burnt. The body was also placed in a Hessian bag. I don't know how to pronounce it, but after Googling, I'm pretty sure it's just like a big-ass burlap sack. But her head was also wrapped with a towel, like the mummy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Kev, are you gonna tell us how it got burned? Like how to get burned?
How to get burned.
This is interesting around the time I think those new Hammerstein movies were coming out too. Hammerstein?
I don't even know who that is.
The Mummy, Dracula, and what the fuck else?
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Gotcha.
Maybe. Stunt doubles.
Remember the mummy
Like-
ride at Universal Studios?
Fuck yeah, dude.
It was like the best fucking ride. There's a part at the end where there's just like a TV screen and it has like Brendan Fraser on it. And he's like, yo, where's
Fuck
my
yeah.
goddamn coffee?
Oh my god, yes.
He says something like that. I bet he doesn't say
Dude,
goddamn.
Universal Studios
hope
is
so.
fucking funny, actually.
I know. I want to go there.
The
bad.
worst
so good.
unintentionally funny ride, the fucking Fast and the Furious one. Without a
it's
doubt.
so good.
Without a fucking doubt.
It's so bad. It's awesome. And so the medical examiner, of course, they take the sack and towel off, and they learn that whomever this woman was, someone or somebody or something had savagely beaten her head in. And not only that, but there was a small caliber bullet that was found lodged in her throat.
Wait, who did it? You were saying somebody or...
Somebody or someone or something.
Somebody, someone.
Fucking corn.
Fuck yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're good. We needed
It's
that.
all right.
We needed it.
Only a few scraps of clothing were left on her due to the burning and resulting condition of whoever did this. And the remnants of this woman's clothing, it was a yellow and white silk exotic like pajama shirt type thingy. Which makes this whole thing like a little more strange, and it kind of gives it this strange exotic fantasy element to it, like kind of fairy tale-ish in a way, because they can't figure out who this woman is, but she was found in these, like, it's a young woman found in these exotic pajamas, so it kind of gives it like a weird fairy tale-ish type thing to it.
So she was burned and then fresh pajamas were put on her?
No, they were just exotic pajamas that she was wearing, but they were burned and damaged and stuff, so they were only able to get like parts of it.
Gotcha.
But it just wasn't something they really expected because this is in like the middle of a depression and everything.
That would be creepy as hell though if she was burned and then they put like fresh pajamas on her.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking creepy.
She's wearing a bum equipment sweatshirt. Well, it must have been Kevin's dad.
Dude, what was it like Machine Tech or something like that? The pants you could buy from like Dollar General back in the day.
Holy shit.
Okay.
They're like, she is wearing a FUBU sweatshirt. I don't think it was you, Kevin. You know, Spencer, Tim, Jeremiah, I don't think it was you. Jamal, I'm going to have to talk to you for a minute. Just joking. I am joking. That is just...
Hell yeah. I had a FUBU sweatshirt too.
Dude, you know what's funny? ICB always, like, they would come out in wrestling wearing FUBU shit.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah. So funny.
Dude, I can, like, back in the day, Kevin's dad would only wear the fucking big dog shirts, and he had, like, fucking 50 decals of the fucking Calvin pissing on, like, a logo thing.
Oh, hell yeah.
Why?
Hell yeah.
Is there a joke to that? Because none of that's true.
Well, you know, to each their own, Kevin. To each their own.
Shit, I just believed him.
No, you know my dad only wears Hanes pocket t-shirts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
that's
The pocket
true.
shirts, man.
Dude, I went over to my mom and dad's on July 4th, and I think in like 2 or 3 hours, my dad only smoked one cigarette.
Whoa.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's been
Fuck
cutting
yeah.
down
Hashtag,
a lot.
Hashtag Wildman.
Fuck yeah. So, alrighty. So, this woman that was found,
Wait a
she's
minute.
described...
What
Yeah.
if the reason he's not smoking anymore, what if they lied to you about that leg surgery, Kevin? What if they implanted a vape in his leg?
I hope so.
What if, like, this
Yeah.
whole surgery was to impress you that he's cut down on smoking, when actually it's like the fucking Planet Terror thing where his fucking whole leg is a fucking vape. A vape and machine gun.
We can only hope, dude. For humanity, we can only hope.
But he's just like, he's always too tired to ever use it.
Yeah, right, dude. He's saving the world like fucking steel.
Oh, dude, I was just saying, when he saves the world after he uses the vape leg machine gun, he takes all the Marlboro Miles in his hands and he says, "I am Iron Man."
Oh,
Hell yes.
The Infinity Miles. Please, they like the fucking Marlboro Miles people. They fucking beg Kevin's parents not to cash them in because they don't want to go bankrupt.
I'm like, hey, Dad, why do you have a helicopter out here?
Hey, Dad, why do you have a fucking island right next to Pierce Bronson or where the fuck that guy's name is?
Pierce Bronson.
What's the Bronson guy's name? Who owns Virgin Mobile or something like that? Virgin.
Oh, dude.
Branson, there we go.
Holy shit.
Dude,
Richard Branson.
Richard
Pierce
Branson.
Bronson,
He's
dude.
from Australia too.
Oh,
shit.
Fuck. 6 degrees.
So this woman that was found, she is described as being between the ages of 20 and 30 years old. She has a pretty skinny / slim build, and she had light brown hair with bluish gray eyes. Investigators, they have no idea the identity of this woman, and so they continue to search the crime scene for more clues, and right away they notice a strong smell of kerosene, and also they notice a brown, oily substance that is all over the ground. And a witness, however, tells the police that in the early hours of August 29th, the night before, there had been a fire, but there was also some heavy rain that night, and so the fire was extinguished rather quickly. So that's why she wasn't like fully burned. And now here's a quote from the Medium.com article. The police concluded that the woman had been killed elsewhere, most likely on August 28th, and her body dumped and burned at the site. Whoever had dumped the body must have worked hurriedly because the pipe had been big enough to conceal the whole corpse. Nor could he have known the area well as the culvert, although it could not be seen from a passing car. It was under a main road.
Oh, wow.
So what you're trying to tell me is something was dumped and there was a brown, oily substance left behind. It sounds like the half-off night at Taco Bell. God damn it. Like that would ever happen.
And since the police had no idea who this woman was still, they kept the body preserved in ice at the Albury morgue. They released a sketch and sent that out to the newspapers to circulate around. And then they also released a modified image of the body. But the pictures I saw literally just kind of look like that badass orc dude with the bow in the first Lord of the Rings movie.
Oh, fuck
because
yeah.
the face is of the corpse and it's covered in like black and bruises and blood, and it's kind of horrifying in a way.
Shit.
Yeah,
kinda
that's
scary.
gross. The orc's name is Lurtz.
That's his name?
Nice.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Lurtz.
Whoa, I did not know that. He became
I like it.
slightly less badass.
And the orc in the third movie that is like the leader of all the army, like the one with the disfigured face,
Yeah.
is the same actor in just a different prosthetic.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
that's cool. Hell
Nice.
yeah. Lurtz is, he was badass. He was super cool.
Do you know what Lurtz would always say after he either punched someone or hit him with an arrow?
I already know where this is going.
Lurtz, don't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
We all
Holy
knew
shit.
it, but
Yeah.
the delivery of that was so funny, dude.
So stupid.
Lurtz Lurt's Rent-A-Car.
Were there mints called Lurts or what the fuck?
What they were called? Something like that.
Or Certs. They were Certs. Yeah, those fuckers were good. What happened to those?
So this is when a weird thing kind of happens in this case. Back to when we mentioned how it sort of became like a fairy tale. Well, now newspapers and reporters, they were sort of creating these like elaborate fantasies about how this young, beautiful woman with such innocence was brutally killed, which is mostly true. But they would start creating these stories and baseless fantasies about this mysterious woman. So they would kind of just start creating her backstory and stuff about this young, beautiful, innocent woman who was killed and found in these beautiful pajamas.
I like how back then that was basically like us waiting for like the new Avengers movies. like that was their version back then. I can't wait for that next story to come out in 2 fucking years.
I watched this video. I think it was a black and white video. I don't know when it was from. It was like old as shit. But one of the quotes in it, they referred to her as a sleeping beauty that would be wakened one day and recognized, hoping like someone would find out, but that's how they would refer to her. And said like her case and her story had like a mythical aura around it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, days turned to weeks and weeks to months and months to years, and nobody had any clue who this woman was. Like nobody really came forward, just nothing. So the story, it's pretty popular. Like it gets extremely popular because everyone wants to know who this mysterious woman was. But unfortunately, there's nothing really to report on, no new clues, leads, or anything. And the police, they followed everything they could to try and get some answers, but still nothing. And it sounds like they really did go above and beyond too. Like one source mentioned how they went as far as to track down all the women that were under the age of 40 years old that had failed to vote in the federal election on the weekend after the body was found. So that's like a pretty rad idea.
All right, yeah, that's pretty cool.
Especially because, and here's a quote, voting is compulsory in Australia. Failure to vote at a federal election without a valid and sufficient reason is an offense under Section 245 of the Commonwealth Electoral Act 1918. You are required to pay a $20 penalty if you don't vote.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that's during those times. I don't know what the money was back then, but
fuck that. Yeah.
Can't afford to not vote.
Yeah.
And here's a quote from the Medium article. To assist with the investigation, the police preserved the body in formalin in a zinc-lined bath and moved it to the University of Sydney, where over the following years it was viewed by hundreds, if not thousands, of people who still could not identify it.
That would suck just going there to look at that, though.
I know.
Like, just thinking that might be somebody you know.
Yeah. Hey, first date? Yeah, this day, hey, you got that date planned out, Bobby? Yeah, I'm hoping if it goes really well, I might get a handy under the bridge. Well, where are you taking her? We're going up to the university to go look at that dead chick.
Hey, so I think I already know who the killer is. I think it's Sydney's dad.
Oh, shit. This is a Scream joke. I love that.
Hello, Sydney.
So how close is South Wales to Sydney then?
I don't know.
I think everything, like, I don't want to talk crap on Australia, but I think everything cool and, like, touristable is all in the eastern section.
I wouldn't know.
New South Wales to Sydney is over 7 hours.
Whoa.
Holy shit. They took it that fucking far? Damn.
So 7 to 8 hours or so, it says.
Yeah, back then, when they do fucking carry it there? They just floated her down some water. She'll make it.
Hey, Farmer Griffith, you still got that prize bull? And they just fucking tie it to him.
Yeah, it's downstream.
So now it's 1944. William McKay, as well as many other powerful people of Sydney, they enjoyed eating at the nice, fashionable Italian restaurant by the name of Romano's. Commissioner McKay, his waiter was a man named Antonio Agostini, and McKay also knew this waiter from before the war, so I don't know exactly what he did before the war, but he knew him previously. However, this night he noticed that Agostini was looking rather agitated, and something was definitely off about him. So McKay, he asked him to come down to the police headquarters to speak with him.
You know, this is just my stupid Americanness because I don't know what the fuck they're even doing then, but 1944, yeah, I bet Australia wasn't doing shit around this time.
That's it.
I was just trying to be like talk
Just
about
an
them,
asshole?
just being them lazy around World War II. Were they? Did they even do anything in World War II?
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of Australians fought in the Pacific, like against the Japanese.
Shit, I thought they didn't do nothing. They're like, fuck, that's your war, fucking losers. Go fucking fight.
No, they were part of like the British Empire. Then.
Oh, okay. I'll say that's like when I'm at a fucking Waffle House and people just start fucking fighting and throwing chairs, and I'm just like, ain't my fucking fight.
Wait, this has happened at Waffle House? Fuck yes.
According to Google, as part of the British Empire, Australia was among the first nations to declare war on Nazi Germany. In between 1939 and 1945, nearly 1 million Australian men and women served in what was going to be World War II.
Wow.
Damn.
The more you know, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Hashtag thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Hashtag thank you for your service, for sure.
Too bad they couldn't just bring the war to them. That way they didn't even have to fight.
Yeah.
They could just let
Oh,
the
yeah.
fucking animals just fucking rip them all to shreds.
Yeah.
Like, they could have ended the war with like one mosquito.
Congratulations, they all have AIDS now.
No, I didn't say Magic Johnson.
Dude, do you think he is fucking lying about having AIDS?
He just didn't want to play basketball anymore. He's like, I'm just gonna fucking tell him I got AIDS.
No, I saw an interesting theory. What the fuck was
Same
it?
here.
It was Magic Johnson was getting what the fuck? It was like it was so popular, or he was doing something ridiculous that
He got caught. The theory is that he got caught with like underage chicks or something.
He got caught with underage chicks, so they told him, "Hey, you become the you say you have AIDS and become the spokesman for it, and we won't let this shit get out."
I mean, that makes more sense than just fucking being completely healthy after having AIDS this long.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, he has a lot of money. He probably just somehow they bought a cure or something.
And then after he was caught with those underage chicks and he was getting like blackmailed and in trouble, Karl Malone said, "Hey, thanks for taking the fall."
Hey, thanks for taking the fall. The check is in the mail.
Oh, fuck yeah. So McKay, he takes Agostini back to the police headquarters, and I'm not sure exactly what happened or how this played out, but it would result in Agostini confessing to murdering his wife 10 years prior in Melbourne.
Oh, wow.
He described how he had accidentally shot her, and since he was in a panic and he didn't know what to do, he drove to the borderline to Albury and then poured petrol over her and set her on fire to hide the evidence of shooting and killing her.
All right, hashtag confession.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to point out, Kev, I think you're pronouncing that one guy, McKay's name wrong. You gotta think of it as the teacher from South Park. Okay.
Okay. So before we go any further into this, we have Agostini confessing to killing his wife 10 years ago in Melbourne. But let's just get a little bit of information out there on the Agostinis. So first off, we have Antonio, who is the husband. He's an Italian immigrant that came to Australia in 1927. Then we have Florence Linda Platt, which would later become Linda Agostini, and then more recently, the believed Pyjama Girl. She was born in southeast London and would move to New Zealand at the age of 19, and then she would later move to and live in Australia in 1927.
Nice. I mean, well, not nice on that. I mean, like, she saw some beautiful countries. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And then as far as her occupation, she worked at a movie theater in Sydney, and she lived in a boarding house on Darlinghurst Road in King's Cross. And there are some accounts where people say like she would entertain young, attractive men if
The price was right.
Yeah, if the price was right. The price was wrong. If,
What's wrong, bitch?
Wait, so she would bang under 18-year-old guys?
well, young, attractive men. I doubt it's underage. I doubt she's like diddling kids or anything.
Oh, she's just a cougar. Well, then nice.
Yes.
Back then, I don't think anybody gave a shit if the guy was underage.
Probably
either.
not. I mean, I still don't give a shit now. Probably, I was gonna say earlier about the movie theater. I hope that the same guy that worked at our theater worked there too.
Oh, you mean fucking Peter Jackson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is pretty close to New Zealand.
I like that he left to become a director.
We had this old movie theater where the dude who owned and ran it looked 100% like Peter Jackson. We talked about how Toof would rip him
No,
off.
because Peter Jackson has lost a lot of weight since then.
I mean, maybe that guy did. We don't know. We haven't seen him.
So one thing about Linda Platt, She was also known to be a heavy drinker, and she really liked to party, and they said she had problems adjusting to a stable life. So she is young, she enjoyed life, whether it be partying or drinking or having fun, but she was definitely known to be a party girl.
Hashtag wild woman.
Hashtag wild woman.
All right, hashtag wild woman.
And then in 1930 in Sydney, Linda and Antonio Agostini would be married.
Antonio Agostini is a fucking sweet name.
I know, dude. Like, I can't say his name without doing that fucking hand motion. Agostini.
Oh, yeah, Agostini. Forget about it.
So according to Antonio, in 1933, the two, they would move to Melbourne because of Linda's drinking problem. He wanted to get her away from all of her friends and associates that were enablers and bad influences on her, because they were a married couple now, but she still liked to drink and party. So he's like, well, I got to get her away from that shit. And this is what Antonio had told the police what happened on the day that he accidentally shot and killed his wife. So the two, they moved to Melbourne in 1933 to get away from her drinking associates. Quote, however, her drinking had continued and she had made Antonio's life a misery. One Monday morning, he had woken to find her threatening him with a revolver. In the ensuing struggle, the gun had gone off and killed Linda. Unable to bear the shame the death would have brought on himself and the Italian community, Agostini had not been able to bring himself to report it to the police. That evening, he had put Linda's body in his car and taken a spare can of petrol, had gone on for a long drive. When he saw the lights of Albury, he turned off the road, stuffed Linda's body under a small bridge, doused it in petrol, and set fire to it.
Like, I almost believe him.
So that,
like that he didn't mean to do it.
So that is what he tells. That's what he tells the police. And he voluntarily returned to Melbourne to further assist in the identification of the Pyjama Girl. Yeah?
That's the Australian way that he described it. If you want me to... Jesus Christ, it's so stupid. If you want me to do it in the more American way of how he... just so some Americans can understand it.
Yeah.
Yo, the fucking bitch was fucking drunk and causing a mess, man. She was swerving up my swag left and right, so I accidentally fucking fired a bullet in the broad's head. Yeah, you could probably delete that. It's okay.
That's horrible.
I was trying to make it a little bit better, but no, nothing's good on that part. All right, well, what happened? What happened, Kev?
So, despite the identification being contested by Dr. Thomas Benbow, I don't know if that's how I pronounce it.
Fuck yeah, it is.
He claimed the body was that of a Sydney girl. I think it's Philomena Morgan. I don't know how to pronounce these names. The coroner came to that conclusion that the body was indeed the body of Linda Agostini. So the coroner is saying the body is Linda Agostini. The husband is saying that it is Linda Agostini, but there is a doctor, Thomas Benbow, who claims that the body is not Linda Agostini. It is a girl by the name of Philomena Morgan.
I think, yeah, I just looked it up. You're saying it wrong. It's Benbow's his middle name. His last name is Bice. Just Benbow Bice. That's not even funny.
Is that supposed to be like Kimbo Slice?
No, just Benbow Bo Bice was was an American American Idol singer or whatever.
So Philomena Morgan and Linda Agostini, both were females around the same age and likeness to the Pyjama Girl, and both were missing. However, it was never believed that the Pyjama Girl was actually either of these two originally. And one of the main reasons for the police not thinking that this was Linda was because the dental records didn't match. The Pyjama Girl's body had 6 fillings in her teeth, and Linda had 8 fillings.
Okay. Nice.
So things are starting to get a little weird, getting a little crazy.
Yeah.
Kind of weird that you admit to a murder that might not even be yours. What are you hiding?
Well, he also went and identified it as her.
Agostini.
Did he know like exactly where it was found, or was that already public? Like anyway, like did everybody know that?
I think it was already public by then because this is 10 years later.
Gotcha.
Next, there was a trial. In Antonio, he would be found guilty of manslaughter instead of straight up murder, and he would be sentenced to 6 years with hard labor. So that's pretty fucking easy. That's like for admitting to killing your wife, you only get 6 years. And he would then be released from jail in 1948. and he would be deported back to Italy, where he would live out the rest of his life until the wonderful year of 1969, when he passed away in Sardinia. So he only ended up serving
what the fuck
less
was his
than...
last name?
He passed away in Sardinia.
Yeah, but what was his last name?
His last name?
Was it Sardini?
And
Agostini. Okay, fuck these Italian names. Okay.
Yeah, so he only ends up serving like 3 years and like 9 months.
Yeah, Sardinia was the part of Italy that was in charge of making the worst topping for pizzas. When the Italians were all inventing the pizza, like every community had to bring a topping.
The good news, though, the year that he died, 1969, Antonio, he did state how that summer seemed to last forever. And if he had the choice, yeah, he'd always want to be there because those were the best days of his life.
Yeah.
He also got his... Never mind.
What did he get, Kev?
I think it's only... It might have been his very first 6-string, but I'm not positive.
Fuck yeah.
So that was a pretty quick
5 and dime.
A pretty quick case that we had here. Or was it?
Oh.
Bum, bum, bum.
We aren't quite
Wait,
done yet,
there's
boys.
more.
But wait, there's more.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see your practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
So, Antonio, he came forward, he admitted to the killing, but we also have Dr. Thomas Benbow thinking the body was somebody else and not Linda Agostini's. However, the confession seems pretty solid, but there were some details about the case that didn't really match or add up here. So here are some of the things that Antonio had said during the trial. And this is from UnsolvedTrueCrime.com, as well as from Richard Evans, a Melbourne historian, who he wrote a book in 2004 titled The Pyjama Girl Mystery, A True Story of Murder, Obsession, and Lies. So, during the trial, Antonio, he mentions the bullet wound, like saying that he accidentally shot and killed her. However, he didn't mention anything about the extensive trauma to her skull and brain, because remember, whenever her body was found, it was like beat the fuck up.
Yeah, I was going to ask that earlier, but I figured you would probably get to it.
Yeah, it was pretty badly beaten and bruised, and he doesn't mention anything about it until it's brought up, and he says, oh, I may have accidentally dropped the body when moving her.
Yeah, but that wouldn't do that.
Yeah, there's no way that dropping her would involve all that damage.
The only thing I could think of, or he could have said, is that he didn't want anybody to know who she was, so he fucked her face up.
Yeah. He's like, and I was out of silly putty. Yeah, so I dropped the broad. Dropped her off in the fucking sewer. And
fuck yeah.
Next, whenever he's referring to the gun, he mentions it as a revolver, when actually it was a pistol. Something that they say he should have known because he does have a history of military service.
Yeah.
Next, he stated that he had turned off the road before he got to Albury, but to get to where the body was discovered from Melbourne, he would have had to have driven straight through town to get there. Also, he described pouring petrol over the body when actually it was kerosene that had been discovered at the crime scene.
What a fucking dope.
Yeah, that's true.
And next, his timings were not consistent with the crime either. Like he stated, the shooting occurred on Monday morning, which would have been August 27th, and that he had dumped her body that night. But the fire had been seen in the early hours of August 29th, which would have been the following day.
So could the body have burned that long?
No, because it was raining heavily. So the body was burned, but not enough to where... Yeah, because they still had remnants of the pajamas, and they could still see some parts, like still make out features.
Yeah.
I'm thinking he didn't do it, boys, or he didn't. He didn't kill this person.
Yeah, I still think he might have done it, but like just not this.
He might have killed his actual wife.
Yeah.
This body wasn't his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, good thought. Save those theories. I like those. Those are good. One more thing, though. The physical evidence identifying the body as Linda Agostini also had some discrepancies. such as the Pyjama Girl had blue eyes, while Linda's were said to have been brown.
Oh, shit. Yeah, that's pretty bad right there.
Also, she was small-breasted, while Linda was large-breasted, and both had slightly deformed ears, but there was no photographic evidence of Linda's to compare.
Like, I wish one of them looked like, that ain't her. She ain't got big titties.
Fuck out of here. His wife didn't have them tits.
Hey, man, those titties might have been burnt, but those ain't hers, man. She was a full rack.
And full rack of ribs, baby.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It would have been funny if, like, the neighbor, if there's, like, a couple that live next to him and, like, the neighbor, like, the husband and wife are there, and the husband is like, nah, no way, ain't her. Her titty's way bigger than that. So here's another quote from that site. The breakthrough the police claimed to have finally identified the Pyjama Girl was the discovery, 10 years after her teeth were first examined, of 2 porcelain fillings, which, it was claimed, had fallen out and been until now missed. Linda's Sydney dentist was not in the habit of taking a chart of his client's teeth and could only attest to the work he might have done, which, he had to admit, was no different to the work done by any other dentist. So this is where a lot of people think that something is up and maybe the police were possibly just looking to close this case. Like, I don't know. But now they re-examine the teeth, and this time they find 8 fillings on the Pyjama Girl, claiming that they had previously missed 2.
Oh, so that goes back to the other girl then.
So kind of strange, kind of weird.
Yeah.
But regardless, this case would be closed in 1944 after Antonio was found guilty of manslaughter. So after that trial, though, they do close this case.
All right. Case closed. Antonio, you're a fucking murderer. Done.
So there are a few things that do confuse or upset people about this case. Like, some things just don't really hold up, such as, like, the police, they knew Antonio because he was their waiter, and they also knew him from before the war. And then they just bring him home, or they bring him to the station that night, and then he just automatically confesses.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be more on that. Like, why did he confess?
Yeah, they don't give any details.
Wow.
They just say the police thought something was up with him that night at the restaurant, and then they brought him back to the station voluntarily, and then he confessed to it. And then on top of that, the fact that he was given an extremely light sentence, like 6 years, to which he only served 3.5 years of that sentence.
Wow.
Also, the dental records, the eye color, and the titty size.
Fucking them tits.
And also the fact that Antonio only mentioned shooting her and then maybe dropping her, yet her head had been beaten in by a heavy object or something. Like, there's no way dropping her would have done all that damage.
Yeah, and she wasn't out there long enough for, like, anything else to have done it.
Correct.
I'm going to take Antonio's side. What if all that happened, but then a fucking meteorite fell and bashed her right in the fucking head?
They just never found. That was the one that fucking Stephen King finds in fucking Creepshow.
old moss hands.
Oh, meteor shit.
Fucking Bex, just right in the head. Alrighty, we got one more quote from that Medium article, and there's going to be some words in here I fuck up.
From that Meteor article?
From the media. From Joe Meteorite. You were eating off it. So this is from the mouth of Joe Meteorite. Yet, despite this evidence, despite the pernicious prejudice against Agostini as an Italian, and despite the victim being a British woman, the jury did not convict Agostini of murder, but of manslaughter, and after a little less than 2 hours deliberation. Meanwhile, despite being critical of the jury's decision, and even though he had concluded that Agostini must have attacked his wife with a heavy object, the judge gave him a sentence much less than the maximum 15 years at his disposal. So yeah, Antonio, he only did like 3.5 years, and then as soon as he got done with that, they deported him back to his home country. So it kind of sounds like they were doing him a favor.
Yeah.
Just like I was doing favors in that Cedar Point parking lot.
Oh, fuck yeah, you were.
You got to do what you got to do to survive, man.
Or just to get into Cedar Point.
Yeah. On that day of all days. But, so yeah, it's kind of weird. They kind of like, well, then this is kind of weird. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
I would say like, then there's 2 murders going on and they don't give a shit about completing the other one.
we got a little bit more coming up.
Okay.
That might, then we'll get into your guys' theories and stuff, because this will be a good one for theories. So before we get further, we're going to talk a little bit about the police commissioner, William McKay. By 1944, I guess he had been under some harsh and constant criticism from the press for being incompetent and unable to close a long list of unsolved cases. And of course, the very top of that list being the Pyjama Girl Murder Mystery. So he's getting a lot of shit because there's all these unsolved cases. They're like, well, if you guys were fucking good at your job or knew what you were doing, we wouldn't have so many open cases that were unsolved.
But I mean, also, isn't this like during like a depression? There has to be crime like fucking all the time then.
Yeah, 1944. Well, this is by 1944, so leading up to that.
It was like around the Depression and stuff.
So here's another quote. In 1938, McKay had taken on oversight of the Pyjama Girl case, and in 1939, he invited into the investigation Dr. Thomas Benbow, a self-styled and self-aggrandizing forensic scientist. Benbow's outlandish, unsubstantiated theories, his incompetence, and his antagonism towards them were too much for the police working with him, and they insisted that he be taken off the case. Benbow had concluded that the Pyjama Girl was Philomena Morgan, who had been murdered in Albury by a member of the Quinn family of local farmers. Despite all the evidence to the contrary, Benbow would not rescind and took his case to several influential and sympathetic ears. He even went as far as funding a court case to claim the still preserved body for Philomena. I almost said for Filipino's mother. For Philomena's mother. His persistence had forced the police to move the body to a secret location, as well as appearing at the inquest. He also tried to intervene in Agostini's trial.
Damn.
Yeah, so it seems like even though there's like not a whole lot going on with this case, it seems like there's a lot going on behind the scenes about it.
Yeah, which a lot of it doesn't really make any sense.
Yeah, it is pretty confusing too. So now, to make it even more confusing, we're going to back up a bit to 1943. And McKay, he had moved on from working this case, so this would have been 9 years since the body had been found.
Yeah.
So he's moving on from it, saying there's nothing new and no leads on it. So he assigned 2 new detectives to it. So he puts 2 new detectives on this case, and he orders them to review 125 files of the possible victims that have not yet been eliminated or tracked down. And at the very top of that list was Linda Agostini.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was before he confessed?
Yeah, this was,
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. So this would have been a year before the confession.
And they knew that was his wife. Like, the cops knew him, right?
Yeah, but it turns out they knew about Linda Agostini way before that. You see, Linda Agostini, she'd come to the police's attention as early as June 1935.
Jeez.
This is when George Kemp, he claimed to have known Linda for 7 years, but he had not seen her since January of 1934. He believed that the photos of the Pyjama Girl closely resembled her, which he continued to maintain after seeing the body. However, while this lead was followed up by detectives in Sydney and Melbourne, she had been eliminated from their inquiries. So in 1935, that is when she was first mentioned. Like, people started thinking it was possibly her.
And why didn't they bring Antonio in then?
It's kind of confusing. Well, we'll touch on that in a little bit. Like I said, this is getting real confusing, but the murder happened in 1934. 10 years later is when the trial happens and Antonio admits to the murder. So for those 10 years, nobody had any fucking clue who this Pyjama Girl was, except that doesn't seem to be entirely true, since in 1935, her name, as we found out, was at the very top of that list, just less than a year after the murder. So this is where more problems occurred. Even though Linda had disappeared and had not been heard from since August 1934, there were too many physical differences, like we mentioned earlier, so nobody could really identify her or identify the body as being her. So like, even though friends and families, they saw the body or the photographs, many of them didn't think there were any similarity between the two, like great enough similarity between the two.
Yeah.
And then 1938, Antonio, he went to the police voluntarily and even said he didn't recognize the body as his wife's. But he did give them the name of his dentist so that they could get the dental records and compare them. And after this moment, this is when Linda was officially ruled out as a possible match. So in 1938, she was already ruled out because of dental records.
Wow.
But for some reason, her name still stayed on the list of possible matches all the way up until 1944 when the case was taken over by those two new detectives. A year later is when Antonio would admit to killing her. So it's really fucking confusing.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, according to that, he went to the police in 1938, told them it wasn't her, but also gave them the name of his dentist, or the name of her dentist, so they could get the dental records to compare them. So he already spoke to the police fucking...
But, like, where the fuck was she? Like, did they just not... They just figured she was missing?
Yeah, she was just missing.
Oh, okay.
Which is, like, already pretty, like, weird. I mean, his wife is... Whether that's her or not, his wife is fucking gone.
Yeah, and, like,
or is she?
You would think he would have been questioned more.
Oh, and here's another quote about this. Penciled notes on the file, they say resembled McKay's hand, and the dental evidence is heavily underlined. The evidence, whose re-examination by a new dentist began the series of events which led to Agostini's conviction. So I don't know how true that is or not, but they say according to that, the file on Linda Agostini, there were notes on there, and it looked like McKay was the one that wrote some of these notes in and was marking the dental evidence and things like that. And you can see some of these. I don't know if they're actually the exact ones or not, but...
That's weird.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is a quote from, I believe it is either from... It's hard because one of the sources we mentioned also quotes the book, so I think it's from that. But, quote, let us speculate for a moment. McKay is desperate to close the Pyjama Girl case, and he comes across the name Agostini, a name that crossed his desk in the recent past. He was the perfect patsy. Not only did his wife disappear at the right time, but Agostini is an Italian, a fascist, a man no newspaper would defend. As a release internee, he will be under the close supervision of the police and in no position to decline an invitation to present himself at a police station. With a word and the right ear, McKay can have Agostini released and placed in a job where they can accidentally meet. All McKay needs now is one piece of evidence that can definitively identify Linda Agostini as the Pyjama Girl, and lo and behold, two fillings are discovered which have been missed for the last 10 years.
Oh, okay then.
Oh, yeah.
So that is a theory from that source.
That kind of adds up, yeah.
What about the tits? You guys are forgetting about the tits. I don't give a fuck about the fillings. I want to know what's filling up them bras.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Jeremiah, you dirty dog.
The dirtiest.
The dirtiest.
But never mind, though. The case, even though it is considered closed and over, we don't even really know if the Pyjama Girl was actually Linda Agostini. We don't know who actually did kill the Pyjama Girl. And we don't know if Antonio did or did not actually kill his wife. So it's like we just have all these unanswered questions that people admit to, even though it's obvious that that's not the truth.
Yeah, this case is pretty much like the last couple seasons of Lost.
Yeah. Oh, it's Purgatory. Nice.
Maybe.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, so that is everything we have on this. So now I want to hear all your theories and thoughts and questions and things like that. So
I feel like the theory that you said probably happened was my theory. Like, that's probably everybody's. Like, he probably just made a deal. Like, because the cop wanted it to look good. Like, he solved the case, and that dude killed his wife, and he figured, oh, I wanted to spend that much time, then I get deported back home. And why not do it?
Yeah, it does sound like, okay, your wife's missing, and we're going to get you for murder. Like, she's been gone. It doesn't really seem like you've been looking for anything. We have you for murder. However, we have this unsolved case. We're going to have you admit to killing your wife, and she sort of resembles your wife. So we're going to give you a light sentence and then send you back. You just have to admit to killing her and claiming she's your wife.
Like, why not take that? Because he killed his wife. Why not fucking take that?
Yeah.
Like, I feel any murderer would definitely do that.
So do you think the Pyjama Girl is or is not Linda Agostini?
I don't think it is. I think it's that other girl that the doctor was talking about.
I've got a different theory.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, Great Depression. Let's focus on that last little syllable there. Shin. Huh. All right. Shin is something they found in the dead body, right? The cops, the authority, the authoritarians found. So what's going on right now? Great Depression, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Times are tough. They're fucking killing people on purpose and using their meat.
They didn't use her
Okay,
meat.
yeah.
They fucking kept the body fine so people could see
That's why it was burned, because they were cooking it.
They were just pickling it in the liquid.
Oh, okay. All right. This is starting to make more sense. This is what
That
happened.
way it's preserved for later when times are even tougher.
Nice. So that was like putting it in the fridge.
Would you rather, in a Great Depression, would you rather eat your beloved pets or that stupid fucking neighbor down the street? You don't gotta answer
Yeah.
it, but
How about just the neighbor's pets?
Or I don't know, like a fucking bird or something.
you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go against the grain, man. I think that was Linda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you look at the pictures, there is a resemblance.
Was there a resemblance in the torso?
That all comes down to how much can a body be disfigured by being burned with whichever it was, kerosene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this
Which
was
I
like,
don't know the difference between kerosene and petrol.
Yeah.
Like, is there a there's got to be a smell difference, you would think.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like close to 1900s. I mean, fuck, some of those fillings are probably made with fucking like George Washington wood, dude. So like they probably burn up real fucking quick.
They're still using wood.
Why would they use
wood in
pieces
there.
of George Washington's dick in teeth?
Oh, fuck yeah. Oh, it's been in my teeth.
You gave a blowjob to the first president of the United States.
More than once, my friend.
Hell yeah. His fucking wooden dick.
Yeah, I dug him up because I was going to smoke him to get smarter.
Fucking how high. All right, Spence, you got a theory or anything you want to add to it, man?
We pretty much fully covered the theory that it was the cops, right?
Yeah, that they were trying to... They didn't...
Well,
yeah.
So for that to be true, because Agostini never denied this confession, right?
Correct.
So they must have had some, and not even when he moved back to Italy. See, that's the thing. So I think he probably really did kill somebody.
Yeah.
So it's really just down to whether it's a case of missing identity, like if it's an incorrect identification. But then that means that there are two women getting burned with different like flammable liquids in the same general area in like the same week, if his story is true.
I mean, I was under the impression that since his wife went missing, I was under the impression that they got him to confess to this killing and then gave him the details.
Yeah.
And that's why he wasn't getting them 100% right while he was
exactly
mixing
right.
stuff up. That's what I thought,
Yeah.
but I mean, we have no idea because there was a bunch of missing women around that time.
Yeah, absolutely. And like some bodies could have been found that could have been his wife or could have been, the other girl or whatever, and like they wouldn't have known.
Yeah, because it was the Depression.
Yeah, exactly.
Shin.
There's a lot.
Keyword
Yeah,
shin.
Yeah, let's say we have to throw that out there.
What were they doing?
Yeah, there's a
to?
version of Godzilla called Shin Godzilla.
Oh yes.
Because that's like a Japanese word.
Fuck yeah.
I don't know what the Japanese word shin means, but
Kev should know.
Shin Megami.
But no, Spencer is right a little bit. He's a little bit off though. They don't celebrate Independence Day over there in Australia, but they are really fond of necklaces that have a giant D on them. They're really into Dependence Day.
because they're pendants.
Like a pendant.
no, necklace is a pendant.
Holy shit, Jesus.
Fuck, dude.
I like how Spence had explained that one to me.
Dependent. Yeah, I didn't get it either.
Yeah.
My best one yet.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I think they're called quokkas. Quokkas? Does that sound right? Those Australian fuzzy guys that look super
Quakers?
happy. Quaker
Oats.
But no, we had an Australian listener named Kate because I was talking about all the deadly, dangerous things in Australia, and she sent us a picture of I think it's pronounced quokka, but they're literally the happiest looking little fuzzy guys in Australia, and they might be the happiest animals of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I just want to hold one of these guys.
Kiss him.
Hey, you listen to podcasts, little buddy?
He does. The one I'm looking at definitely does.
Aren't they cute as fuck, dude? I love
dude,
them.
they're super cute. I want to kiss them.
Is there anything else you guys want to add to this before Spence does our closing shit?
I don't think so.
No, that's all.
Well, thank you for listening. If you like the podcast, you can support it by following us on social media, especially on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter. And you can contact us on any of those platforms, or you can send an email to brotherscommonplace@gmail.com, right? Or is there the Brothers Commonplace?
Just Brothers Commonplace.
Just brotherscommonplace@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star review, especially on Apple Podcasts, but really anywhere that you get the podcast. Check out our YouTube channel and subscribe there. We're trying to get to 10,000 subscribers on there by the end of the year, and we're trying to get into the top 200 comedy podcasts in the U.S. on Apple Podcasts.
And if they don't do that, they're a fucking wanker.
Oh,
you fucking wankers.
Oh, if you want to support the podcast on Patreon, go to the next level. Take this relationship to the next level. There's a couple levels. There's the $1 level, and there's the $5 level. Actually, there's a third level called Whatever You Want, which apparently Patreon lets people do. And some people do that, and you're awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And you get shout-outs. Sometimes you get stickers and things. And you get access to our bonus episodes, where this week we will uncover the secrets of the Illuminati.
Oh, fuck yeah, we will.
We got it all figured out.
That might happen.
The cool thing is we have this plan. If our Patreon gets to a certain point, we're going to let Andrew out of the chokey. So
that's where he's been.
We'll stop making him be our gimp.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew's just been in the chokey for a while. So, I mean, he's probably dead.
Well, that's a short term for it. It's like Chokey Brother or Chokey Bo.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the thing in Matilda called?
That's a chokey.
Okay, it's the thing from Matilda that they put the kids
with like
in.
the fucking spikes in the, they're murdering the kids pretty much.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, how does she do it? Mrs. F, Mrs. I. Why are all these women married?
Mrs. C, or what is it? Yeah, Mississippi. So Mrs. M, Mrs. I. Wait, that's not how the fuck it is, though.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
they're spelling difficulty. That's what they're spelling.
Yeah, difficulty. That's it. I was thinking Mississippi.
Hey,
yeah.
She taught us with the poem.
She taught us with the poem. Mrs. D, Mrs. I.
You're supposed to be teaching spelling, not poetry. She's all pissed about it.
Dude, that bitch is fucking nasty.
Imagine if a woman married a guy whose last name was Ippy. And then she took his and then she took his last name.
That'd be amazing.
Just a special thank you to everyone that has already left us a 5-star review on iTunes, or that has shared the podcast, or signed up for our Patreon. That really means a lot to us that you're doing any of that. It's super cool, and thank you to everyone that's been reaching out to us. It's been awesome. I always like hearing feedback and just your favorite quotes or jokes from the show, or just saying that you enjoy the show. It's really cool. It always surprises us every time we get a message. So keep that up. And yeah, I think that's it. Oh, next week we're going to be in Chicago for the True Crime Podcast Festival. So next week we're not going to have a regular episode. We're going to be putting up one of our Patreon episodes. So I do apologize for all of our Patreon supporters. It is going to be an episode you've already heard. But for everyone else, if you enjoy it, then sign up for our Patreon because you'll get more like it. And like I mentioned, me and Toof, we recorded a couple bonus episodes. And I think we're going to be able to have a Patreon episode every week now, as long as we keep this up. So,
oh yeah,
very cool. You know, we might try to record a little something while we're in the hotel room up there, but no promises.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I hopefully, dude. Thank God I didn't have any of my podcast shit in the car anymore.
Yeah, that would have sucked, dude.
Yeah,
because that's a lot of money.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But
given the description of what they did take, I mean. Doesn't sound like they were the swiftest.
It sounds like fucking Doofy took it.
Yeah, dude. So what we're talking about is I left my car unlocked, so I mean it's my fault. Well, I don't know, but maybe they would have broken a window. But anyways, someone broke into my car, and like I had a ton of papers in there, so they're just thrown about everywhere. My glove compartment was emptied, everything, but it's just thrown all about. And these are the things they took: They took about 50 cents in nickels. They took a phone charger, and they took this fake plastic police badge that was in the movie Chili Cartel that we recorded where it just says Super Police on it. They fucking took that.
Dude, they had to have known. It had to have been somebody that's fucking watched that.
That pisses me off,
They were coming specifically for that.
One of the 160 people.
Why would they fucking take that?
And those were all us.
But yeah, I had a bunch of pictures that they threw about and stuff. And I don't know. It's just a fucking low life.
Oh,
we
yeah.
know it wasn't John Mulaney's one friend who used to take his friends'
He would have
pictures.
taken the pictures, yeah.
Because it's the one thing you can't replace.
Why? So fucking funny.
Primo, you got anything you want to add, brother?
Nah, I don't think I got nothing. Love you guys. You guys are doing awesome.
Well, I guess it's that time of the podcast where everyone gets just a little bit more wise, too.
Oh, yeah. Fucking horny.
You want to hit us with some words of wisdom, brother?
Yeah, I didn't have any written down. I mean, I don't want to go into the vault just yet, so we're just going to literally off the top of the dome this motherfucker.
Fuck yes.
All right.
You guys there? My shit went all haywire.
Yeah, we're fucking ready.
Yeah, we're here.
All right.
We're here.
Yeah, we're still ready.
Me and Andrew have been living together for a little bit. And he's a sick motherfucker, man. Like,
Yeah,
he does some weird shit. Like, he has a drawer specifically designed for condiments that he keeps, like, open condiments in and shit.
Oh,
Like,
hell
in
yeah.
one, there's, like, open mustard packets and shit.
Fuck yeah.
Kevin knows.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
anyway, like, Andrew, man, he takes, like, fuck, what are the words for those things? Like, what do you call, like, piss in a pot? Like, that, like, saying. Like, Andrew takes sayings, like, straight to heart. Like, find a pot to piss in. And Andrew will, like, literally go out and fucking do it, man. So
Hopefully he doesn't watch that fucking Batman Superman movie then.
So we've been watching the Avengers a lot lately, and Andrew's trying to become a superhero himself. And he thought it was a catchphrase when it was really just a guy's name. So when I went to go cook, I found this fucking turd sitting on top of one of our cooking utensils. And I was like, Andrew, what the fuck is this? And he just says, oh, that's black pan turd.
Oh, shit.
What does that have to do with the drawer of condiments in it?
I was just making fun of
One of my
one
of my old roommates.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, okay,
We'll just leave it at
gotcha.
that. He doesn't even listen, so it doesn't
Gotcha.
fucking matter.
Okay, gotcha.
For those that don't know, whenever I was living somewhere with one of my buddies, he's my roommate, as I was packing my shit up as we were moving out, I opened this drawer in the kitchen. It's like 100 packets of shit. Half of them are opened. We're talking soy sauce, ketchup, all this shit. It's like, why would you just throw open packets in this?
Fuck yes, dude.
Cupboard. It was so gross.
That's amazing.
Did you guys hear about Ursula?
Yeah, dude.
They're doing a live action Little Mermaid next, of course. And they cast Melissa McCarthy to be Ursula, the evil witch.
Yes.
Christ. So fucking nobody's gonna watch that then.
Cool. At least they don't have to use any special effects then.
The thing I said was, what if she pulls a Heath Ledger?
Oh, he just like is super good.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the other way.
It just dies.
Oh my god.
I thought you meant she kills herself after the role.
Really, it would have had either been her or fucking what's the bitch you always make fun
Schumer.
of too? Yeah, Amy Schumer.
Or Ruben Studdard.
Fuck yeah, dude. Who's playing Ariel?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, I think a black girl.
Yeah, it's
that's kind of why I made the joke.
It's a black girl.
Okay.
Which who cares?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
No,
No,
That's
that
fine.
doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah.
So no, I like the two can play this game. I want a fucking Martin Luther King documentary or autobiography or whatever the fuck, and I want to star Nicolas Cage.
That's that's a real fucking person. Though.
Actually,
it's not
no,
a mermaid.
so do I. Actually, I fucking do too.
That's a real.
I want it signed,
I
sealed,
want
and
everything
delivered.
to star Nicolas Cage.
That would be funny, dude.
I want a Tupac biography, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, for sure. Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh shit.
Imagine like they have like a rap scene of Nicolas Cage as Tupac.
You guys are you gonna go see that Rodney King movie starring Rob Schneider? Rob Schneider, dude.
It's a lot of dead air right now.
Yeah, I'm just on
yeah.
Rodney King's Wikipedia page looking for something.
Oh my god.
Oh, looking for some slick jokes.
Fuck yeah.
No, dude.
Looking up a guy who took more fucking beatings than CM Punk.
Alrighty, so I guess we'll shut her down. Thank you everyone for listening. Be good.
Stay safe.
Laugh at the dark stuff.
Hashtag Wildman.
I like it.
Alrighty, I guess that's it. Hashtag Blump Kid.
Oh fuck yeah. Hashtag boy pussy.
Hashtag thank you, Mark. Hashtag Wildman Daniel.
Oh fuck yeah. Hashtag wankers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's Employee of the Month, 2 months in a row. Leave a message at the... Hi, Jamie. It's me, Jamie. I just had a new idea for our song about the Name Your Price tool. So when it's like, tell us what you want to pay, hey, 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 and the trombone goes, blah, 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 and you say, we'll help you find coverage options to fit your budget. Then we just all do finger snaps while a choir goes, savings coming at ya, savings coming at ya. Yes? No? Maybe? Anyway, see your practice tonight. I got new lyrics for the rap break.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Hi, it's Jamie, Progressive's #1, #2 employee. Leave a message at the... Hey, Jamie, it's me, Jamie. This is your daily pep talk. I know it's been rough going ever since people found out about your a cappella group, Mad Harmony, but you will bounce back. I mean, you're the guy always helping people find coverage options with the Name Your Price tool. It should be you giving me the pep talk. Now get out there, hit that high note, and take Mad Harmony all the way to nationals this year! Sorry, it's pitchy.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.